And we're back. So in the last video, we talked a little bit about the introduction to the AI agent sector, what has been going on for the last couple of weeks and months, how you can capitalize, and to understand why the crypto mindshare is so focused to this incredible arena. At the moment, it's still sitting about 17 billion market cap, with potentially growing to maybe 250 and 500 billion if we're comparing it to DeFi of 2020. In this video, we're going to be talking a little more about the particular plays that I'm looking at, investing in, and even an outlook for what is maybe coming, because AI agents as such, they're becoming a little more stale. So at the moment, it's just Twitter bots, glorified Twitter bots, but in the future, we might actually have some remarkable scientific discoveries that are going to be unlocked using AI agents and AI in general. So let's explore that today. And before we jump into SUI, there's a new tab here in the ecosystems on the cookie.fun platform, which is basically showing you virtual competitors such as AI16Z, ELIZA framework, and there's also Waifu, Top Hat, and CreatorBit. These are all AI agent platforms, and they're much, much more undervalued than virtuals itself. So it is a very nice way to see the platform and all the agents that are launched on the platform itself. Now, taking a look at SUI. Of course, if you've been following the channel for a long time, you know that we're super bullish on the SUI ecosystem, and for a damn good reason. Chart has been up only, and it is only natural that when the SUI as a token itself is appreciating in value so much, all the underlying ecosystems, such as decentralized exchanges and, of course, AI agents, are following suit. SUI is currently breaking in the top 10 crypto as well, so not something to scoff at. So what are the agents on SUI? Starting with Agent S, and this was actually the first mover. It is literally AXBT on SUI. It is giving you SUI alpha in real time, and actually with some pretty nice pictures if you're into that kind of stuff. Now, the other one that is much more prevalent these days, doing much, much better, because Agent S is not really moving a lot over the last month, but the one that is moving quite a lot is SUI AI. And this is basically virtuals on SUI. It is an agent platform that lets you launch many different agents with many different functions on SUI, and it is a flywheel that is well in motion. And currently, the best performing one is ADA. This is kind of like Agent S, but better. It is very similar to comparing AXBT with Trey Sigma. Now, I don't really know if ADA also integrates with on-chain data. I need to do some research more on this. All I know is that we aped into this like January 2nd, and now it's almost 50x. So these are opportunities that you really don't need to hit all of them, but ones that you hit, they're just like absolutely crazy. If you can figure out what works on other blockchains and try to front run happening and events on other chains, that is the simplest way to make huge gains in this crazy, crazy narrative. And regarding where you can trade these tokens, there are many places. You can, of course, always just default to Cetus, but if you want to speculate on airdrops, this is much more better option to simply use some of these aggregators, such as 7k.ag or hop.ag. These are both tokenless projects, and actually 7k.ag has limit orders, which this other one doesn't, and they also have a leaderboard, so this is definitely my preferred place to trade these crazy, crazy tokens on SUI. All right, it has been 2 whole days. We haven't mentioned Hyperliquid, so here we go. Jokes aside, this is one of the ecosystems we're very bullish for 2025 season, mainly because they've conducted amazing airdrop. They have also managed to create a functional product, which is the most useful tool that I've seen other than centralized exchange from just UI UX perspective. And okay, let's not we have suppressed the $8 cells already from memory, but most importantly, if you're still holding your Hyperliquid tokens, they've also added staking recently. As you know, there's going to be multiple future rounds of airdrops, so staking is probably going to play part in all of this agenda. There is a 7+1 day, so 8 days period to unstake if you want to like randomly sell, so keep that in mind. From the portfolio standpoint, we're looking for virtuals on Hyperliquid, and at the moment, that seems to be Vapor. That's literally that, like agent launch platform for Hyperliquid. It might do well, but yours truly has managed to top blast the absolute top again for freaking Hyperliquid. So yeah, again, if your thesis is not invalidated, then dips are supposed to be there for buying, not for panic selling. So yeah, this portfolio is not doing as well as SUI, but I have no fear, and as long as the thesis isn't invalidated, we're going to continue buying the dips. Now, from the technical standpoint, I'm really not a TA guy, but support, buy support, hope for the best, maybe set some kind of invalidation just under if you're doing like with size, but I'm only playing this with like $1,000. So for me, it's still pocket money, but maybe we'll size up in the future. We'll see. And the third ecosystem that we should probably pay attention to is Sonic, with Heyanon leading the charge. This is not even a functional product. It's not even a working product just yet. And it's already trading at over $100 in market cap, which is absolutely crazy. So this is supposed to be an AI agent that's helping you with your DeFi journey, executing trades, doing real-time crypto analysis, news, portfolio management, all that jazz. But the most important thing is it's not even live, and it's over $100 million market. Crazy. Why it's happening is maybe the reason why Daniel Sesta is behind it. Remember, guys, this is the OG behind Time Wonderland, which was glorious while it was working and equally horrible when it didn't. So yeah, just take this with a grain of salt. Do your own research with this one. There's a whole Ponzinomics flywheel going on with WAGMI, but yeah, just be very, very careful with this one, please. Of course, if you want a little more in-depth analysis and talk about all these topics with some serious DeFi agents in real time, you can join our Discord. We have an AI agents channel which discusses all of this alpha in real time. But of course, we're not just an AI agents channel. We talk a lot about airdrops, and the intersection between these two things is going to be explosive in 2025. We're also claiming so many airdrops that we've been farming over the last 2 years. So we have a lot of capital to allocate accordingly. If this is something that you want to do, if you want to join some DeFi agents on our journey, you can join us on our Discord. All the information is always in the first link of the description of the video, and it will take you to the website where all the links about everything we always talk about always is. And finally, if you want to diversify your passive incomes, you can do so with our NFT, which is generating you 10% passive income every month through DeFi yield farming done by our DeFi legend, Chris. We're going to have an update with him in the coming days as well. Stay tuned for that. And perhaps something that not a lot of people talk about, but you really, really need to take care of your mental health. There will always be missed opportunities. There will always be capitalized opportunities, but just stay focused, stay in the present, have positive outlook for the future, and don't look back thinking, oh my God, I thought this was undervalued at 20 million and now it's like 180. Like, it happens. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Focus on what you have in your control, and that's all we can do with our time. Anyway, now let's look at some future outlooks at what the AI meta might shape up in the next couple of weeks and months. A lot of people seem to be of the perspective that while it was very interesting in the beginning to have this alpha shared on X with XBT, Trisigma, and many others, but maybe in the future we're going to have actual AI agent personalities which are going to be kind of more selective. Like you have your, I don't know, jocks or sports guys or nerds and that kind of stuff. So there's probably some kind of shift that's happening that's going to actually help people understand that AI agents can actually be more human-like. There are a couple really interesting projects that are actually trying to develop this kind of technology. And it is remarkable that this guy actually posted this on November 10th. So he was really, really ahead of his time. But yeah, there's probably going to be different types of AI agents, such as atheists, quants, hippies, degens, and that kind of stuff. So it's a very interesting take. And one of the projects that I'm actually very bullish on in this sector, which are now we're going into like degen territory, like moderate trenches, let's call it like that. This is in the tens of millions of market cap. This is SolGraph. SolGraph is trying to integrate these personalities and emotions into AI agents. So maybe this is how the meta is going to shift in the next couple of weeks and months. We will see. Now, another thing we have to understand is that velocity of change is rapidly increasing. For example, we have weekly basis and you have daily basis. If we're looking at weekly basis, when it all started back in November and maybe even October with Gotius Maximus and Fartcoin and these AI memes, now in the last couple of weeks, people are slowly rotating into infrastructure. So you have stuff like ARK taking the spotlight, and then you have the even subsector of these weekly shifts, which is happening almost on a daily basis, which is borderline impossible to keep track of. But a perfect example is how some narrative was super hot one day, less hot the next day. We can take a look at what happened with, for example, corporate audit. So real world assets plus AI was really hot thing a couple days ago, and then now it's a lot less interesting. So absolutely crazy. Then this is basically AI agent that's giving you real-time data for stocks. So pretty useful, but crazy. Then we had AI plus DeFi just the other day with Solana Hackathon winner doing crazy, like multiple hundreds of X's through this Buzz token, which is kind of the narrative that we are in right now, this AI plus DeFi, which you can see with WAGMI and all the other projects. But if you want to front run all of these things, what is coming next? Well, we're going to talk about that now. Obviously, nobody can predict the future, but we can see the metrics of attention and where the mind share is heading next. If you remember from Cookie.fun statistics, the decentralized science part of the whole crypto space has been growing rapidly over the last couple of days. So AI plus decentralized science, DeSci, might actually be the next hot narrative. This was all, of course, hugely pushed by the fact that Bio, which was one of the biggest decentralized science projects, was actually launched on Binance. And I'm not going to go into all of this now, but if you want to go more details, then definitely check out Arthur Hayes' DGen DeSci thesis regarding all of these things and how we're actually super early compared to the rest of the market, which is still pricing in Fartcoin and other projects such as AXBT far, far above what all of the others are currently valued at in decentralized science. Now, this huge thing to understand that even though this has been just launched, it is super hot right now. So for this particular reason, it is probably a little bit overvalued, considering that Binance listings and all things that is being pushed alongside. So it is completely natural to see these retracements in the last 24 and 48 hours. But if this is something that you believe in to be the next hot narrative, then probably wait a little bit more for it to cool down, and then we can see potentially an explosion in this sector. And once the decentralized science side of AI agents really catches on, we will make sure to give an update for this. But for now, you can just save this watch list and maybe get in on some bigger dips than this, because it has been incredibly overvalued. So it is very, very good to see some healthy corrections. But if you're bullish on this ecosystem, it is really a remarkable sector. For example, there's AI agents working on longevity studies, on so much advancement of research globally that it just goes beyond words. There's been 3 main plays that have been focused on. For example, we're taking a look at Beard AI. This is an AI agent that is scouring 75 million research papers and then advancing science. In that way, you would need 50 quadrillion laboratories and scientists to do the work that this one single AI agent can do. Then you also have Yes, No Error. This is the one that's basically going through current research papers, finding errors, and then correcting them in accordance. This has started on like December 19th and only had funds for 2 days, and now it's grown to $55 million in market cap. So you can see that there's clear interest for this niche. And finally, there's some wild experiment going on with Rat Pythia. This is basically a rat which has a USB kind of thing sticking out of its head, and it's basically trying to implement AI agent infrastructure with organic living organisms. Actually crazy. So it's kind of like what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink, but on a much, much, much more advanced level. So yeah, future is scary and remarkable at the same time. And the best thing we can do is be informed and make appropriate decisions. And of course, just as with AI16Z and other portfolio managers as AI agents, there is a similar thing like an index fund of all the DeSci projects. This is currently being aggregated with AIXCB, and the other leader in this field is Sequoia. Currently, this is actually remarkable statistics. Apparently, people who have invested in this back in December, they're currently sitting on about 31.57 returns on the value of portfolio that Sequoia is investing in. So yeah, this is another reason that potentially this is going to be one of the key narratives in 2025. So finally, to wrap everything up, how could a responsible, not completely degen portfolio look like? Let's take a look at starting with BitTensor. Of course, this was the OG AI play. This was the AI before it became cool. So essentially, I'm pretty sure it's not going to do huge multiples, but it's also not going down without a fight, because they're doing some really cool integrations with subnets and everything. Huge topic, but yeah, definitely you should consider BitTensor as a part of your responsible grown-up portfolio. Then of course, Virtual's agent launching platform needs no introduction. Fartcoin was actually, a lot of people don't know this, but Gotius Maximus wasn't actually the first truth terminal AI coin. So it was actually a fart coin, because it was asked, okay, what is the best meme in existence? Create the best meme that you can. And it took all information about metrics, human interactions, everything, and it came up with Fartcoin. So it has no execution risk. It is purely meme coin, but still people are putting it in the AI sector because, okay, it was envisioned by Truth Terminal. So, okay, great, sure, let's call it a meme coin, AI meme coin. So yeah, this is one of the higher conviction bets, which is crazy. swapping my SOL for Fartcoin was actually one of the best choices I've done in a long time. So this is the Fartcoin meta. Goat use, of course, first, but it's really not recovered much from the past. But if you're a believer, then sure, you can have some exposure to GOAT. Maybe it makes a comeback, but it's been overtaken considerably with some other place. So yeah, Cerebro is ridiculous. It's also an AI agent, but it has launched its Christmas collection. It is one of the top trending songs on collections on Spotify. Like, no words. Then of course AXBT, all about AXBT. Vechain, kind of like a DeFi helper for Solana. So it's kind of like ChatGPT, but it also helps you with DeFi transactions activity. If you want to like airdrop a meme coin or make a meme coin or whatever, it can do all of these on-chain transactions for you. And then of course Arc is virtuals on Sol, amazing tech, probably gonna go places. And then maybe let's stop here if we're going to be responsible. All right, the only reason Dasha is here is because Elliot Trades mentioned it, and let's be real, when a 600,000 account on YouTube mentions something, it's probably a good idea to take notice. Also, agent launch platform, much smaller than virtuals, but they're doing their thing. Maybe they do something. And then there's Alchemist AI. Alchemist AI lets you create agents without any coding experience. I remember watching this at 40 million and thinking to myself, this is amazing tech. What's going on? Like, why is this not higher? Of course, it went higher. And then you have Trisigma. Trisigma also is a little more risk on, but this one is essentially better. AXBT, we already mentioned this before, because it also has integrated with on-chain data. So it's not just social metrics, what AXBT does and pushes alpha, also integrate with on-chain metrics. One final note to understand that this is changing so rapidly. Developer interest is growing exponentially, not just from the Web3 world, but many developers from Web2 are actually taking interest because the GitHub repositories, for example, for ELISA or for some other infrastructure plays, is being absolutely exploding, both with stars rating, with usage, with new applications. It's going nuts and ham, and it's just beautiful to see, but also it really keeps you on your toes. So remember, if I missed one of these majors, let me know. But this is a list as of January 5th. Let's see how quickly this thing shapes up and changes. And that was a deep dive analysis of AI agents, what's hot right now and what might be hot in the very near future. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more of it, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, like and subscribe, bell notifications on, and if you're serious about crypto, you want to make the most of this amazing journey we got ourselves on, we're waiting for you in our Discord. Thanks for watching. Till next time, have an amazing day.